this is the place to meet and greet, listen to the trends, what's happening, what's coming. This is the arena, and it's only once a year.
Please welcome SuperOffice CEO, Gisle Jentoft.
Thank you, Tony. Good morning. You all doing fine so far? I'm really glad to be here, very excited. This is always a very important event for us, and I would also like to say thank you to the customers, and most of all of you partners who are here. I will actually be talking a lot about partners today. These are the three topics that I will cover. How are we doing? I mean, the financials of SuperOffice. I think that's quite interesting to know. If are we doing well? Is everything following the plan? How many of you were here last year, by the way? Okay, so then you might remember at least one slide that I will pull up. What Tony talked about that was a little bit special is basically nothing about SuperOffice, but it's related to SuperOffice, and it's about the market direction, and that's where I want you to follow his advice when I get to those slides. The App Store, and I will also talk about not only the store itself, of course, what we are doing with it, what we have done since last, and also I will spend quite some time on a few very exciting apps. At the end, I have a little talk about something that I consider to be extremely important, which is this formula down there: process plus humans plus technology equals growth. And you know what happens to a formula like that? If one of them is zero, you get the poor results. So let's get started. The key financials of SuperOffice. This slide I showed you last year. And it has a quite long time frame. You have a field here in gray in the background, and that's the period we call our transformation period. We're transforming, have transformed partially, still have some transformation to do, to move from being a traditional software company, selling the software in the traditional way, to becoming a cloud-based company. We have done a very challenging, exciting journey here over several years, and to be honest, I'm very proud of how you, our partners, have done this journey with us, and that's all about the App Store. I will get back to that. The future is in the cloud, as you will see later. I said it last year, and I will repeat it again. That's where we are headed. There's no doubt about it, and it goes fast. When we transform from the old to the new business model, the revenues stop growing for a while because we have deferred revenues. We push revenues in front of us, and it also affects the profit of the company. As you see on the blue graph, the bottom should be last year, and it was, but we ended up somewhat higher than expected. If you look at the revenues of SuperOffice in 2017, we ended at 378 million NOK in revenues with a profit of 53. And this graph shows a 12-month rolling development. So every new month you take away the oldest and put on another. So this shows constantly a 12-year perspective on the company. And as you see today, or after September to be specific, we are at 406 million and 64 million in profit or EBITDA. And this is well in line with the plan, and I think we're also very thankful that this is taking place. Years ago we made this plan on how this was going to play out, and we have an extremely professional CFO who has his finger on the pulse all the time, and he predicted very accurately. If you look at the year-to-date numbers, total revenues are up 13%, sales are up 13%, consulting is up 22%. We see that in the consulting area, a lot of things, of course, cloud, migration to cloud, but also GDPR is driving consulting revenues. Now, all companies, most companies at least, know what GDPR is about, but I think also in this year that many companies still have a journey to do in order to be real compliant, and also to use the opportunities that you have there to improve data quality and become more accurate in terms of segmentation and marketing. And the EBITDA is up 28%. So all in all, we are financially very healthy. One thing I have to emphasize is, you of course know it already, but everything is organic. There is no acquired growth here. Cloud is the most important driver. And as you see, the monthly subscription revenues are up almost 57% this year. Customers in the cloud up almost 23%, and users in the cloud up 51%. So keep these numbers in mind when we get to where the market is moving, which is now. So now is the time that I've been asked to stand over here. These numbers are very fresh. They're not released. I can be very convincing sometimes, so that's why I managed to get them out from IDC. And the numbers are very interesting, and we are all together in an area which is going to continue to grow. It's no surprise for us, but it's always nice to have someone else talk about it. As you see here, over a period of 2018 to 2022, the compounded annual growth rate is 10.3%. In the cloud isolated is almost 20%, and when it comes to on-premise or on-site solutions, it's going down by 4.9%. So this emphasizes what I just said in the beginning. The future is in the cloud, and it's growing quite rapidly. So there is nothing to wait for. If you look at the functional segments, you see that the three areas that SuperOffice offer functionality within are growing at quite healthy rates. As you see, it's the customer service area, which is supposed to have the highest growth in the time to come. We also see that from customers. More and more customers are becoming interested in and implementing the service offering. Marketing is also a strong growth area, and you see also sales growing, but not as much as the two other. But still, all in all, a very good picture and outlook that we all can can benefit from and build our business on. If you look at the individual markets in Europe, some differences, but maybe a little bit surprising that Norway seems to adopt technology and continue to adopt technology faster than anyone else. And that's also what they predict, that Norway is going to grow at the highest rate in this period, out of these markets that we operate in. So, all in all, it's continued growth ahead in the CRM application space in Western Europe. Don't you think that's great? You look almost sad. Especially you, Al. Okay, I love it. Let's move on to the App Store. This is very strategic to us. Some of our partners might feel that we are somewhat slow, we could do more. Yes, of course, I can agree with you, we can do everything better all the time. But taking you a little bit back, you see here, this is more or less the picture of when it started, what happened in these different years, and where we are now. And you see, it's not further back than 2014 when the App Store was sort of really introduced to you partners. Many of you had your solutions integrated with SuperOffice on premise, and you looked at this journey and discussed it with us. This it's a little insecure. How fast will it go? We have to invest. Difficult choices. Guttorm, he was really clear at that time, even way before it, that the future is in the cloud. As always, he proves to be right. But I think this journey has also been, exciting and challenging at the same time. Today, we see that the number of apps in there is at 75. A year ago, it was 51. We also see that the tools that we provide to build what we call custom apps, which is quite relevant to today's topic, sustainable customizations, is also growing, proving that customers use SuperOffice in order to build customer-specific processes, in addition to using the standard applications in the App Store. So I think this journey has been very interesting, but I think at the same time that this is only the beginning. We're better prepared, and most of all, we see that the partner solutions in the App Store are really addressing business challenges and solving them in a really good way, and are seamlessly integrated with SuperOffice in the cloud, of course. And we see that this scales extremely well. We upgrade the cloud offering every 3 weeks, and all the time, all the applications that are used together with SuperOffice in the cloud follow. And there are very, very few challenges. So I think you should give yourself a big hand of applause, because I think it's thank you. So, this is something I've heard, and it's somewhat of a myth number one. If you build it, the customers will come to the App Store. Doesn't happen, right? And that surprises me every day, that customers often have something else to do than think about SuperOffice. It's very disappointing, but I understand that that's, of course, a dream scenario that will never come through. So we have to do more. We have to be more visible. We have to be out there talking about business challenges our customers are facing, and then coming up with the right solutions. We have spent more time and effort on generating awareness and focus around the different apps. It's not about sending customers or prospects to look at our great store and browse through all the great content. It's about putting your apps into the right context during events and various other activities we do in our digital channels. This is, as I said, only the beginning, and it has worked, just increasing the focus on this in the last year. We see that the number of app approvals, you need an app approval to start using an app in the App Store, is up by 51%. Which is good. Now you were supposed to clap. Again for yourself. And keep in mind that the 2018 number is year to date, whereas the 2017 number is the whole year. So this is going to get better. Looking forward to that. So what's happening, well, the rest of 2018 and into 19, we will continue, and I'm actually starting right now after this slide. We will spend more time on promoting our partner apps and raise awareness around them, of course together with you. We are going to continue focusing on what we call the onboarding structures. I will talk about that in a minute. CRM is not something you subscribe to, turn on, and lean back and wait. You'll understand what I'm talking about in a minute. We still have exciting projects on the App Store itself, the organization, and as you see in blue here, the topic of building sustainable customizations for our customers. Customers want to run their business as efficiently as possible to create the growth they want, not to play around with IT systems. So I think we will continue investing in that and making it a very, very smooth ride for our customers. So now I would like to talk about 4 different apps in the App Store that I find very exciting. Are you excited? We're not addressing all of this market, but you see the flags indicating where we are. And the first app is from a partner that we have a strategic agreement with in the area of marketing, which, as you saw, is a growth area. The company has many years of experience in the marketing field, more than 10 years. And it's, of course, no surprise, the company eMarketer. Woo! You are probably familiar with their eMarketer offering. They are now about to launch a new product sold separately under the motto, turning bounces into business. And I think we all know that on most of our websites there are companies, people visiting, but we don't really know who they are. And that's where they come into the picture with Lead Explorer and deliver what they call a sales tool for the future. So without going into further detail, I would like to run a short video so you can see how they are telling the story themselves.
What would happen if you knew the true identity of every prospect that ever visited your website? Today, 99% of website traffic never converts. You don't know who they are, but still that traffic is a goldmine for your sales team. Not using your company website as a sales tool is quickly becoming an outdated way of selling, leaving interested prospects in the dark. So we asked ourselves, how do we build a sales tool ready for the future and help salespeople close more deals? Presenting Lead Explorer by eMarketeer. Lead Explorer changes the way salespeople find customers by transforming anonymous website traffic into real sales opportunities. At eMarketeer, we've done website tracking for more than 10 years. Where others see traffic, we see sales opportunities. So how does Lead Explorer work? Within minutes of setting up an account, you're magically served all necessary insights that are needed to close more deals. Which companies have visited your site? What's their interest and level of engagement? And with Live View, who's on your site right now? Lead Explorer is also tightly integrated with SuperOffice. If a prospect is found in SuperOffice, Lead Explorer lets you know, giving you CRM insights right away. If it's not there yet, you can quickly add it to SuperOffice with just a click. All this information is presented in a company profile where everything you need is right in front of you. That's a sales tool ready for the future. Lead Explorer. Turn bounces into business.
Wow. Good news. And something that helps businesses find and catch more customers. Let's move on to the next one. Some people are saying that you are so Scandinavian focused. Yeah, in a way that's, it's not that strange. We are from Scandinavia. That's where we, but only for now, have the biggest footprint. So let's focus a little bit more to the south in Europe. The single biggest market in Europe is Germany. And we have, for the last couple of years, invested a lot in finding more partners in Germany. We have the company SP Software Partner, who's here today, have been a partner for a long time. But we need new partners in Germany that can expand the offering we have and to also provide access to customers in the German market. So let's see what's coming from Germany these days. There are actually going to be 3 different solutions. So let's see. The first one is, when I say Datev, most Norwegians and Scandinavians say, what? But I can promise you, if you say Datev to a German, they don't say was. Ach so! That's what they say. And they are impressed. Datev is actually a, what do you call it in English? Stiftung. It's owned by 40,000 tax advisors. Datev is a large company, 7,000 employees, more than 500 million euros in revenues each year. They provide ERP software and a lot of additional software for salaries and finances of all kinds. And they also have a center doing salary transactions for 12.5 million employees every month. So their footprint is solid. They opened in 2012 something called the Datev Marktplatz, which is where SuperOffice, together with SP Software Partner, now has placed SuperOffice with the goal, of course, of expanding our customer base in the German market. We have actually cooperated with Datev many years ago, but that was in a different time. And I think now the opportunities are really great. And I would like to thank SP Software Partner, because without you, you are very familiar, you are already a Datev partner. This solution would never have found its way to the Datev marketplace. So thank you, and give them a big hand, guys. The next one is called EchoBot, or EchoBot, if you want, which is a so-called business information intelligence platform. The solution from EchoBot is processing more than 8 billion websites, news, social media posts, financial data on company performance, and so on, with the goal of providing more up-to-date and relevant data to make good business decisions. That's what they're doing. It's of course a cloud service. AsiaBot is a quite young company. They have rounded 1,000 customers and have a large and very large, young and enthusiastic team working on expanding their market. And we're really proud to have them as a partner of SuperOffice. So let's see a little video here. And if you want to clap, no? Someone from AsiaBot is here, right? Not yet? No. So Christian, you are doing the last one from Germany is covering something that I know that many companies are struggling with. SuperOffice is, I would say, 8 out of or 9 out of 10 times set up to fit exactly the way a customer is working. UserLane is a tool, an automated online user guide solution, which works in the CRM Online application, and you can specify it to do exactly what you want it to do. So you specify, based on how SuperOffice is set up, the different workflows, and when they are played, it's of course a lot easier for a user to learn how the steps are and how the system is supposed to support your work process. That's not that easy to do in a manual, and sometimes businesses don't have time for a lot of trainings like this. So their slogan is helping people understand any software instantly, meaning after you have built the relevant workflows. So let's see how that works. You can still clap if you want. Come on. So give them a big hand, please. And there's one more. And don't worry, I'm not going to start talking about SuperOffice. There are plenty of other people talking about SuperOffice these days. You will see as part of, I'm not going to say as part of what. Zapier is on the agenda during this Expander World. I just would like to say that I think it's very, very exciting to see how SuperOffice is connected to a large universe of business-related apps and cloud services that can do very many exciting things that are highly relevant for businesses. So let's see how that goes. So back to the last, or now to the last topic, which actually comes in the shape of a warning. Process plus humans plus technology equals growth. Do you any one of you think you can take away one of these? Of course, not the technology one. Has to be in. You all agree that this is, yes, thank you, Ellen, very good. We also know that businesses will increasingly fuel their growth through automations. I heard someone from a company called Visma talking about how many companies will move from salaries to subscriptions because through automation they work more efficiently. And together in this room we deliver a pile of what I call growth enabling technology and automation capabilities, which is the necessary starting point. However, there seems to be, and maybe it's our fault, some companies out there who think that as long as it's in the cloud, something is totally different than before. And believe me, I'm not saying this because I have a hunch. This is something we have experienced. Companies go out there and they seem to think that as long as it's in the cloud, it's very easy to just get started and turn it on and sit back and wait. I'm exaggerating a little bit. But they forget totally about the process and the people in the organization. And then it's a very, very bad investment, and it has nothing to do with which CRM system you subscribe to. It's the same for them all. And this is something that I think is extremely important to put on the agenda in the time to come. To give you a little bit of an example, we have made the customer service benchmark report now 2 years in a row, and this is from the last one. We have asked 1,000 companies, some small, meaning 1 to 50 employees, another group from 51 to 100, and another of 101 plus employees. And it's about 1/3 on each, a little bit different, but 1,000 companies. And we have sent them to their company email address these simple questions. Do you have a phone number I can call you on? Where can I find pricing information? Not very difficult questions. And some of you have probably read the report, but the result is devastating. 62% of companies did not respond. Maybe they were sold out, I don't know. 90% of companies did not acknowledge the reception of the email. So you heard nothing back initially. That your and 90% was that. 97% of companies did not follow up after they replied. And only 20% of the companies answered on the first reply. So what's the problem? I mean, the numbers are not good. The thing is that they obviously have email and they have it connected to their website, but there is a lack of process and organizational readiness to respond to something important, which is a request from a potential customer. And I think companies like this will not survive in the future, period. They will be out of business because there are plenty of other companies who understand this formula and they don't forget about the people and the process side of it. So that was a little warning from my side. We will, in the time to come, focus exclusively on customers who are taking this seriously. And there's a big difference, I've said this before, between ERP, which has a ton of legislation to use, and it's not like you look at an invoice and, well, should I book it or shouldn't I? You're collected like this if you don't for a while. So CRM is a lot more soft factors. We have GDPR now, which is helping us to make it sort of also a law or a legislation that we can use. But this is something we will take seriously in the time to come. And we will never underestimate the process and the people side. So when we meet a new customer, this is going to be on our agenda. And I think it should be on all yours. That's all I had. Sorry to end with such a pointed finger, but I think it's really, really important for our customers to take this seriously, to be able to be successful with everything that we have to offer together. So I would like to thank you for listening. Don't forget the questions. I would like to have questions. We will sit over there later. Of course, if they are too difficult, I will just say next question, but let's see how it goes. So thank you for listening and have a great time here at Expand the World. I will hang around, so let's talk if you have something to talk about. Okay, thank you.